Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Hope that you're having a great day wherever you are in this amazing world of ours. It's a beautiful sunny day here. I hope it's the same wherever you are. I'm so happy to be here with you. Thank you again for tuning in and for your support. It just means a lot to me. And before I start, I want to welcome new people. We have new women joining us all the time. So if you've been with us for the 5 years that we've been going strong, please introduce yourself in the comments section on our website to other people, and let's get some conversations going. We have about 100 and I think it's 18,000 people now in our Facebook group. And of course, because of the Facebook algorithms, you don't always see all our posts. So mark us as see first and in notifications, and then you can just have a conversation with people that are there the same type of journey that you're on. So anyway, I hope that you're doing okay. I'm having my cup of tea this morning, and I found this beautiful little mug I'd forgotten about. It's my little Klimt mug. My friend Brigitte gave this to me when we were in Ljubljana, and it reminded me today of her and of this cup because I'm going to talk about travel. But anyway, this is my tea today. There's a beautiful picture. Gorgeous. But anyway, my tea is a pucca, and it's a new one. I found this in an unusual place, but it's lemon and mandarin. And I haven't seen this one before in any collections, so I grabbed a little sample, and here it is. And it's actually good. I like a lemon and fruity drink, so it's got a bit of honey in it this morning, and hope that you got a coffee or tea, whatever you like, smoothie, juice. But that kind of brings us all together to start our day here today. And talk about something that I always enjoy, because despite the fact that as I've gotten older, I'm really appreciating home, in quotes, and being close to my family, and when I'm in two different places, I actually do still love to travel. And we have a blogger, her name's Joy Harmon, who also loves to travel. And she actually has made her home in Thailand. I think she lives in Chiang Mai. But she has got a passion for travel and writes about it for us. And these are, the little chat today is going to be about hidden gems that you can find when you are traveling. Now, she's a bit like me in that, you do the classic tourist route, you do the 5 or 6 main things in that city, but then you're like, okay, I've got a few more days here. What am I going to do? And I mean, she obviously stays longer, does a bit more slow travel, but it's like, how do you get beneath the place? How do you find little places that only the locals know, or, secret little shops or restaurants? How do you find out? And there are plenty of things that you can do. Now, I know a lot of you travel in groups where you have a set agenda, and that's okay too. It's perfect because most of them take you good places. But then sometimes if you're by yourself, I really don't know where to go. So she hits the museums. That's her fun thing. So she makes it a point to make a list, get to the hotel or the hostel or B&B concierge and say, hey, where are the museums? And those are easy normally because they're on the tourist lit map. But other things that she does, for example, I always get on the HopOn HopOff Bus. And for those of you who don't know what that is, most cities and even some towns now have a bus. They call it HopOn HopOff. It's a company. And they take you all around the city with maybe, up to 12, 15 stops. And they're like, you have a little earphone that you can hear the history of what you're seeing. And then you can get off the bus. You can hop off the bus and spend some time in that area and then hop back on again when you are ready to go to the next one. So pretty much a whole day, more than one day, can be spent going around these 12 to 15 little stops. And then you learn so much. But with the security, really, of getting back on a bus, and they always have Wi-Fi on the bus, and, you can just relax, have a little snack or whatever, and watch the world. And then go back, when you find places that you love. Anyway, that's one way you can do it. Joy hits the museums. And then if you try living like a local, chat with locals in the cafe, just so what's really cool around here. And for me, also bookstores. I love bookstores. And even if it's a foreign language bookstore, I go in. My little grandson Max has had books now brought to him from Crete and Athens, all kinds of places. Not in English, but he looks at the pictures and likes them. But bookstores. So I always say, do you have any interesting bookstores around here? So I guess one of the tips when you're traveling is to look for the secret places by asking, or just kind of choose a theme. Another thing I do is I love cities are built on 7 hills. This is one of my passions in life. I'll get to them all eventually. But there's a lot of cities that claim to be built on 7 hills. Like Bath in England and Sheffield and Rio, Moscow, Portugal, Lisbon, Athens, lots of different cities. But anyway, it's a way of focusing what you're going to look for. If you're into art, most cities now have really cool art scenes, not just in the museums, but on the streets. The graffiti is pretty much everywhere in Europe these days. You have to kind of live with it. But there's some beautiful, art, like Banksy, for example, is a very famous graffiti artist. He has got, in Budapest and other cities, he's got his work, painted in the dead of night and then revealed. But graffiti can be quite interesting. It's a real social statement. So that's one thing you can do. And she talks about abandoned places like this. There's apparently a subway system in New York City that is not used anymore. And is it haunted? Is the story. There's a train that just, I guess, goes down there and turns around. And I didn't know about that. San Francisco has some hidden stairways. I didn't know about that. It goes from the Bay to Golden Gate Park. So there's places that you can investigate like that if you're into the curious history of a city. Another thing is, if you're a history buff, to check out the history museums. Most cities have got them, and they're great for learning about the place. And certainly some of the European cities are just a wealth of information. So, and they also, most cities have maps, that show the different historic locations that you can visit. So that's for history buffs. Lots to see. Now, food. Joya talks about food, and if there's one way, in my opinion, to get to the heart of a place, it's to try the local food. I was just chatting with my friend Leah about this, and she's from Italy. She lived in Italy for many, many years, and she was saying, there's just nowhere in the world to eat pasta but in Italy. You can take the same pasta, you can cook it at home, but it doesn't taste the same. And it's true. And so anyway, I think the food scene is wonderful. And there's secret restaurants. I think there's even a website called secretrestaurants.com where you can, check out weird and wonderful places. Joy mentions one, I think it's in Taipei, which is a toilet restaurant where you sit on little toilets, and they're the seats. So anyway, whatever turns you on or whatever makes you feel like you had an experience traveling that was different and interesting and new. She says, actually do blend in with locals, because that will lead you to places like in India. If you're dressed like a local, you'll often get invited to a wedding. Seriously, this has happened to me several times, and people will just say, "Hey, come to our wedding." They like people from another country who are blending into their culture, and they want to show you off there and take pictures with you, and they're fun. I mean, that's not just in India; it's fairly common practice. A lot of cultures are much more open than we might be used to in the United States or Canada or even Europe. So anyway, that's another thing to do. One other thing that I really wanted to mention was, don't forget there's companies like Viable, Vayable, which actually have local tour guides. And I used one of these tour guides when I was in Copenhagen, and I wanted to see a place I was a little nervous to go to by myself, a place called Christiana, which is a community in Copenhagen. And he took me, and I think I paid him $30, and he just kind of held my hand as we went through very nice man. His name was, what's his name? He was about 6'5". He was really sweet. I did a video with him, actually. But valuable, and there's others now where you can basically rent the services. Airbnb, when you go on Airbnb.com, they rent properties, of course, but they also rent experiences, and this is where people do the same promoting of their skills and their knowledge. I'll take you to the Harry Potter Museum and explain about it. If you're in Scotland, or I'll take you to a pottery class and teach you how to do pottery our way. But I found a lot of interesting. I've never done one, but a lot of interesting things you can do. They're advertised on Airbnb. Now, another thing you can do is local events like a textiles tour. Now, I did a tour in India with Eat Your Heart Out tours, and we went to a place where they did indigo dyeing, and we made a scarf, and it was part of the tour. But you can go to these just by checking out with locals. Where can I go and learn about your textiles tour, textiles business or textile industry? And there are people that offer in their homes, little workshops that you can go to, and local people go, but also tourists. And so she said that she joined a knitting club when she went to Amsterdam. There was a knitting group and she joined it, just for a night. They have their meeting, meetup.com. Great place to go for these kinds of hidden events. But another night, she said there was a knitting group that met in a pub. She likes knitting, obviously. And then you just sat there and have a beer and knit. But you have to overcome a certain amount of fear, and you have to be a certain little adventurous. But you can do things in a very structured way too. And so those, according to Joy, are the secret ways to find the gems when you travel, and to find things that you never would have found in the map, on the map, or in the guidebook. So have you had an experience like that? Have you ever traveled and been able to find something really, really cool going on that you'd like to share with us? Please leave your comments in the section below. I know that, probably 70% of the women in our community love to travel. So hopefully this will be a topic that will spur your imagination and inspire you to leave your comments in the section below. I always look on the lookout for your comments. You go to some very cool places. Anyway, I hope that you're doing great, everybody. Thank you again for being here from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. And leave your comments below about what you've discovered on your travels, or even in your own hometown that you'd like to share with us. Okay, so take care, everybody. Go out and have a great day, and know that you're loved and respected, and I care for you. And I look forward to talking with you all again really soon. Bye-bye for now.